In today's video, I'm going to share with you how I'm beating the market with JEPY, QQQY, and IWMY to start the year in 2024. These are Defiance Funds, to be clear, and I have three main points I want you to consider. So we earn over $150,000 per year in dividends at this channel, and my performance value shows that we're beating the market to start the year. We're up about 2% for the year, whereas the indexes are down. The S&P is down 1%, the Russell's down 3.5%, and the NASDAQ is down 2.5%. So we're beating all the indexes here at this channel, living the FIRE lifestyle, which is financially independent, retire early. If you need help living financially free out of your brokerage account, email me for my e-guides at aikentod48@gmail.com. You know, 50% of people are living paycheck to paycheck in the world's richest country on earth, and this is a shame. Everyone is granted this power out of their brokerage accounts to get ahead, and all greats that I know use good debt to get ahead. Why should we be any different? I'm just seizing the opportunity of historically low interest rates now to get ahead before things change again. And I'm never worried about a crash using margin debt because my income of over $150,000 in dividends will pay back this margin debt in less than 1 year. Okay, then I'll be left with all these dividend paying assets to myself, paying monthly cash flow for life. This is what qualifies to banks for loans so you can live the FIRE lifestyle. Trading gains and Bitcoin gains won't. You have to have either a job or dividends to qualify to banks for loans, and this is how I avoid a 9-to-5. So the first main point I want you to consider about Defiance Funds is that at E-Trade, they are 50% maintenance, okay? Maintenance is everything to living the FIRE lifestyle, guys, okay? So snapshot, view, margin, maintenance requirement, 50%. All right, now this is a problem for me. This means that if I put $100,000 into Defiance Funds, 50 grand of my equity is taken up. And when you're living the FIRE lifestyle, you have to have as much equity as possible to withdraw freely out of your account. If you need help understanding maintenance, that's in my volume 3 margin e-guide. So if we go to my available withdrawal section here, you'll see that it's $218,000. This is where I live, okay? My account value is $493, but my available withdrawal is $218. This means that I can withstand over 30% corrections in the market without receiving a margin call. Because when this number gets to 0, you're in a margin call. But if you add my debt back into the $493,000, so let's just call it $600,000, 10% of that is 60 grand. 20% correction would be 120. A 30% crash would be 180 grand. So even in a crash, we would have 40 grand left to play with. And I can use this extra 40K to do whatever I want. I can travel the world. I can swipe my E-Trade credit card. I can buy cars, clothes, shoes, whatever with this margin debt, okay? And I apologize for the fast movement. I'm on my phone. With this margin debt, and it's low interest debt, so I don't mind holding it. Okay, I've negotiated it down multiple times. Many clients who buy my e-guides have done the same because you get my phone number when you get my e-guides, so you can call me anytime and I'll walk you through the negotiation process. All right, so that's the first thing to consider about Defiance is that it's 50% maintenance and it sucks up half of your equity. Now, you can go to other brokers and get lower maintenance if you want, like at a Robinhood or IBKR, but they might not have the special drip for Cornerstone. Cornerstone is where I have most of my money. I have about $400,000 in it, and it's a 4-star fund. And the reason why it outperforms the market over the last 10 years, if you see my past videos, is because it has a 21% dividend, and it drips that dividend down at the NAV every month for free money. Okay, not every brokerage has this, so make sure that if you switch brokers that they have the special drip for Cornerstone, because again, you don't want to miss out on free dripped money down at the NAV every month, okay? Just be aware that closed-end funds like Cornerstone and Goph, which you can see down here below, I have about 5K in that. These are highly rated closed-end funds, but they have rights offerings almost every year. So you have to time them around their rights offerings for the best performance. If you need help doing that, that's in my volume 4 e-guide. The second point you need to consider about Defiance Funds when trying to outperform the market is that they don't give you any growth. They just give you the huge yield. My growth comes from Cornerstone and Yieldmax funds. So again, you're not going to get outperformance outright with Defiance Funds. It requires a little bit of finessing to do this. And that brings me to my third point. Okay. First of all, again, you need a total approach. You need Cornerstone, Yieldmax funds, and Defiance for a total approach. But then you need to outperform with Defiance using a selective drip process. So I don't just drip the dividends outright. I wait for a market correction before I buy more of these Defiance funds. And then on top of that, I use margin. So obviously I'm going to outperform the market if I'm buying the index on margin, because if the market's going higher, but I'm just using extra leverage to do this with margin, then obviously we're going to outperform. And then On down days, you would think we're going to underperform because we have more leverage. But Defiance funds have actually outperformed the market on down days on many occasions. I've seen this happen because they sell 0 DTE options and they still collect premiums every day when those options expire. So they tend to outperform the market even on down days. All right. And this is where my outperformance is coming from. All right. I always try to buy the indexes. Okay. Cornerstone tracks the indexes, Defiance tracks the indexes, even a lot of the Yieldmax funds track the indexes. Okay. As long as you're using margin debt to buy the dips in these Defiance funds, you're going to get ahead, but just don't use too much margin debt. I always recommend using a fraction of your purchasing power, enough to where your dividends will pay that back. So this is where my outperformance comes from, guys. Okay, I buy the indexes and then I just use a little bit of margin to get more performance. And then we usually outperform even on down days because I've seen Defiance outperform on down days and I've seen Cornerstone outperform on down days. And even if we have a 20% correction in the markets, my dividends from Cornerstone, 20% for the year, will make me break even. So no matter what the market does, up or down, my margin plans remain uninterrupted. I still pay back my margin debt of $130,000. My account will grow next year by the equivalent amount, and then I'll be at zero debt. Unlike with credit cards, where when you pay your credit card debt down, you're just at zero balance. Here, with a brokerage account, when you pay your debt down, your equity grows. It's the same as a house. If you take a loan out on your house and you just go buy stuff with it, then you're not going to increase your value. But if you take a loan out on your house and you fix up your house, then you build equity back into your house. And I do the same thing with the brokerage, except there are less moving parts with a brokerage account than you would have with real estate. All right, so if you need help doing what I'm doing, email me for my e-guides at akintodd48@gmail.com. When you buy all of my e-guides, you get free access to the Discord chat room for life, where I alert you of the Cornerstone rights offering announcement. We also have a Defiance channel here, and you can follow my portfolio here when I'm not making videos on YouTube. Okay, you also get my phone number free for life when you buy all of my e-guides. So just keep that in mind, okay? All right, and if you like the video, click like or subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon, guys. Thanks.